What's up, everybody? Oakland 93 in the place to be. It's been 2 months, believe it or not, since the last time the Wrestling Corner was on YouTube. Yes, 2 months. Um, just a little summary of why that has been the case. It's pretty simple. Schoolwork. Not only schoolwork, there have been plenty of times where I've come home and, in fact, I've had no schoolwork to do, and I've actually had time to do the corner, but I would just be so tired because right after school, my classes, I go into work. I work for the school, so when I would come back, even if I didn't have schoolwork, yeah, there are times where I'm tired. And I'm just like, I'm going to find another time to do the corner. There have been times where I thought about doing just the corner on a Saturday to get my thoughts on some things, like like when the draft, before the draft came, Brock Lesnar, when the Brock Lesnar Orton match was announced, and when Brock Lesnar was basically violated the UFC drug test and everything. So there's been it's not like with those 2 months I have not wanted to do the corner, but at the same time, you know, as much as I like to do the corner, there are more important things, take care of, in life. And the corner is not going to go away. And it wasn't like, I was getting like, messages from people like, hey, why the hell the corner? You promised us, nothing like that. Because believe it or not, those YouTube celebrities or people that become popular on YouTube, they'll tell you that, they have some people, some subscribers that really take it personal when, like, they don't put up a video when they on their normal scheduled time, But so yeah, but the Wrestling Corner is back. Hopefully it can go back to being, now that SmackDown is on its original days, Tuesday. Hopefully I can try to, make it a regular for every Tuesday. And once again, if not Tuesday, then, probably it won't be a live corner. If it's, it won't be a live corner. It will just be a recorded version of the corner, just me sharing my thoughts on news about wrestling or, recaps or so. But I would like to say that I would like to try to have the reviews of pay-per-views to be like the live shows. So, and hey, John, hey man, good to see you back. It's good to see your comments again, John. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. So, this past Sunday was a pay-per-view event, Battleground 2016. I believe that made it the fourth annual Battleground in its chronology. This will be the last pay-per-view before the brand extension went into full effect, and that's the case, and that's gone to full effect. So that's what this corner is going to be about. This corner is going to be about Battleground 2016, me giving my thoughts on the event. The event emanated from Washington, D.C., the home of the White House, the home of the Lincoln Memorial, the home of, the home of, I said the White House, I said the Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Monument, all that Capitol, the Capitol building, all that, what's in Washington. It's in Washington, D.C. The show opened up with the tag team match, the women's tag team match, Charlotte and Dana versus Sasha and her mystery partner. Now, throughout, in anticipation or in, lead up to this match, we was all, wondering not wondering who would be Sasha's partner, wondering if it would be a certain person, that person would be Bailey. We was all, would it be Bailey? And sure enough, it was Bailey. And I have to agree with my friend Nate. It was one of the most genuine emotions you can see when Sasha smiled when Bailey's music hit. It was one of the most genuine smiles you can ever see. Uh, and the reaction that Bailey got was off the charts. And it was funny because that marked three, and within that week, that was three people from, or I should say, four people from NXT that got extreme pops upon, like, in a way, like a debut, because I didn't see it. I didn't see when Balor was announced, was drafted. I didn't get to hear his announcement or see his announcement. When I got in from, I got back home, I think Cena was the first person I heard get drafted. I heard that Balor got extreme ovation. I was there to witness the Double A, American Alpha. When that announcement, that crowd blew up. So when Bailey got that crowd blew up, thunderous Bailey ovation. And what was pretty interesting that despite that big ovation Bailey got, immediately, Charlotte and Dana was able to turn that into extreme heat when they bum rushed Sasha and Bailey before the bell rang. It got extreme heat. It was a little bit. It was a little bit, odd because you normally don't see that when like those type of situations where somebody makes their debut or they make their return. That especially if they're like the mystery partner, so that their first piece of action, they're getting clobbered. But that was the case, and from there on, Bailey, got her stuff in, and Sasha, after getting the hot tag, got her stuff in, even though, oh, Orange is it RKO out of nowhere. You know, even though Bill Bailey was the mystery partner and she got a great ovation, I wouldn't go on to say that it was more okay. It was great to see Bailey, and they even announced that was a one-off thing. That no, it's not like she was drafted or anything, but it's not one of the things. Oh yeah, Bailey really got a chance to shine because she got a little bit of her stuff in, but it wasn't like uh major like performance, and that was the case, and that was basically the case for the match. Well, it wasn't really, wouldn't consider it great. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't bad, but the big point of the match, the two big points was Bailey's debut and Sasha making Charlotte tap out with the bank statement. But one thing I will say that was pretty interesting about the match, well, it wasn't about the match. It was really a call. There was a point where when Sasha first locked the bank statement and Dana started pulling her by the leg, trying to pull her out. And JBL was like, careful how you pull her, Dana. I'm thinking, wow, JBL is the first person to actually say that. There have been plenty of times like when somebody's been locked in a submission hold and they have like a companion that's pulling them out. And me and my bro, Chris, were like, wait a minute, aren't you kind of making it worse how you're pulling them? And JBL was the first one to actually acknowledge that. Because while Dana was pulling Charlotte, she's behind her. So you're making her get cranked back even more. And I'm like, wow, somebody actually acknowledged that. So I'm a big, looker for the little things. So, Sasha and Bailey would pick up the win, and Sasha and Bailey would, hug it out, and to a great ovation. It was good to see WWE actually go with, you know, the decision that not only that it felt right, but what the fans wanted. Because I bet you, if it was not Bailey, it could even like even if it was Paige, I still think the crowd kind of would have been against it. Like, oh yeah, we like Paige and all, but we wanted Bailey. Like, like when the crowd wanted Brian and number 30 was Ray. Like the crowd didn't hate Ray, but they were so furious that it wasn't Brian that they booed Rey Mysterio of all people. So I think it would have been that situation if Bailey was not the mystery partner. Our friend Nate said, if it's not Bailey, would it be a letdown? I said yes. If it had been anybody but Bailey, it would have been, the whole mystery thing would have been a letdown, in my opinion. But that takes care of the first match. Roll into the second match, first title match of the night. Rusev defending his United States Championship against Mr. Woo Woo Woo, Zack Ryder. This match, but no, not before I even go into the match, I can appreciate what WWE tried to do with this, because at one point it didn't look like Zack Ryder was going to be a contender for the United States Championship. But the way they went about it, like, him going straight up to Rusev and challenging him, making him look like, how can I put it? Making him look determined and, fearless. That, Rusev is still will be like this intimidated. It's almost like this revival of Rusev. But for the fact that, to have Zack Ryder come across very courageous and determined, that's something you look for in a fan favorite, challenger. So I actually can, appreciate what W did with Zack Ryder with this whole Rusev thing. But, the match was standard. It was standard, but there was some things that you would kind of expect to see in a paper. Like it was pretty interesting when Rusev he front suplex Zack Ryder on the barrier, and then tried to sandwich him and missed, and Zack Ryder hit a beautiful missile dropkick on the floor. And I'm always like, psychology-wise, the missile dropkick or any dropkick, it's kind of the last move you want to do on the floor because once you hit your opponent, you're landing stomach first on the floor. And Zack Ryder sold that. And another thing, I've always said, I think I've said this on the corner before, but one of Rusev's, I think, underappreciated values or attributes is his selling. Rusev, I apologize for the shine of the TV if that's bothering anybody. Rusev is a pretty good seller because when Zack Ryder was nailing him with form after form after form, Rusev was selling like, where the hell am I? And then even when he cut Ryder off, he went back to holding his jaw like, what the hell? And once again, selling in wrestling is very important. And I always appreciated Rusev's selling ability. I think that kind of gets lost in his attributes. As most people talk about his offense, how he's able to move for a guy's size. But when it comes to taking, punishment, Rusev's pretty good at selling it. He really is, especially when he's selling looking like he's knocked out. Then we get to the finish after Ryder hit that drop on the floor. He rolled somehow. Rusev reversed and rolls him into the ring. But when Rusev gets back in the ring, he gets Rough Ryder, and then Ryder, quickly go up to the tower and tries to go for that broski bow, or I forget what it's called. I think it's the elbow or broski elbow, whatever. And Rusev gets his knees up and lays out or hits that jumping super kick in the back of the head and locks on the accolade. Ryder, they do a little tease where it looks like Ryder's gonna break out, only to get the new version of the accolade, that back bending version. and he submits. Also, by the way, Zack Ryder was paying homage to Ultimate Warrior, Sting, and Macho Man on his ring attire. He had a jacket on, like Sting's American jacket with the frills, like, the glasses like Macho Man, and the tights were more Ultimate Warrior esque. Rusev retains the championship, and then he continues to beat up on Zack Ryder. And then lo and behold, Mojo Rawley makes his main roster debut and gets in the face of Rusev and basically prevents Rusev from doing further damage to, his fellow hype bro. And I had a problem, with that because and and it goes even further, it not goes even further, but it also happened with the Intercontinental Championship match. And basically my problem was, you have Mojo Rawley get in the face of Rusev. There's no physical contact with him. So one could think, oh, are they setting up something between, Mojo and Rusev? You tease like you're setting something up. But it's like you're teasing something that's not going to happen. Because now that this brand extension happened, Mojo is on SmackDown, Rusev's on Raw. So it was almost like I didn't understand the point. I knew it. I knew it. Because Slayer didn't get dropped on. They're gonna make a storyline out of this. But anyway, it was like you just set up something that's not gonna happen and not gonna happen. Okay, I understand bringing Mojo Rawley to make his debut to help his bro, but you're not gonna get a Rawley Rusev match. Okay, John, I'll get to your comments soon, John. Yeah. What happened to this guy's eye? So after the Rusev match was the first 6-man tag match of the night. The New Day versus the Wyatt family. Hey, it's Shane. And one of the main, the key moments of the match or the key story, still playing up the Xavier Woods, the storyline between Xavier Woods and Bray Wyatt. Now, Bray Wyatt has, this effect, over Xavier Woods. Because, further, like Woods was going to start off the match against Braun, but then once Bray tagged in, he was all perplexed and everything, and Kofi started the match instead. And mostly throughout the match from there, after Kofi got a little bit of offense, he played face in peril. He played the Ricky Morton role, as they say. And then finally the hot tag is made, and Big E, does his thing with the suplexes, and but then later on, Big E, after everybody gets involved, after they some near fall, there was a near fall where Big E got hit by Bray, and then he walked into a sit out Uranagi slam by Eric Rowan. So then it's to a point where Kofi is the legal man, and but oh, it's the Man Beast from Detroit, Michigan. Gore, Gore, Gore. I know my friend Nate gonna say that once again. How is Shane supposed to be representing the new era if he's got a lot of people from the old era on his roster? But anyway, I was talking about the New Day match. So then there's a part where Kofi gets tagged. Now Kofi goes for the Trouble in Paradise. And Kofi goes for the Trouble in Paradise. Bray ducks it, goes for the Social Africa. But the thing was, Xavier had tagged himself in. So he pulls Kofi off, and then, once again, he's in that trance with Bray. But then he snaps out of the trance and starts fighting off Bray. And to his credit, Xavier goes on this pretty, rush, this offensive barrage where, he's after he gets dumped on the apron, he kicks Bray Wyatt. He hits that top turnover to the rope splash. He super kicks Eric Rowan. He rolling elbows Braun Strowman, tries him off the apron, but it doesn't work. And he keeps fighting, and Braun grabs on the throat. And then this is where the scary part of the match came. And honestly, it's been pretty scary for the past pay-per-views. Big E knocks Braun Strowman off the apron with that spear of his. And I swear to you, he almost broke his freaking neck. And once again, I mentioned how they're scared for the past pay-per-view. For the past pay-per-view, that's been like Big E's like pay-per-view move. How some people have like their move that they do, in certain, events. Like how Kurt Angle will only do the moonsault, like in big match situations, or how in pay-per-view matches, especially notice no DQ, Roman will always try to go for the spear into the barricade. And how like last man standing matches, Cena, that's when he does the steel step spot. He throws it out the ring at somebody, stuff like that. Big E in the paper tends to do that spear through the ropes, that suicide spear. And as of late, mostly every pin when he does it, it's like, this guy comes closer to like breaking his neck. He really fell on his neck and shoulder, and you saw him like that. And I'm thinking, I don't think he's selling. Like, no, this guy really got hurt. And it's getting to the point where, like, me and my friend, they said that, maybe he needs to, cut down on that or do what he used to do when he first did it. He used to turn to the side. So when he falls out, he's just going to fall on his back, because this just going straight first, it's getting him closer to breaking his neck. And I don't want to see, especially somebody, or anybody, but especially somebody with potential as Big E, career cut short because of, move like that. So it's either take the move out of it, like maybe be safer, he takes that move out of it, or just goes back to, turning to the side when he's about to go through the ropes. And what's interesting that I'm not the only one that feels that way, because the next night on Raw, there was a sign that said, "Please stop diving Big E." And that was in reference to, his spear. So after that happened, Xavier, he turned around. Bray was in his crab-like, spider or crab-like stance. And that caused Xavier, to hesitate. Try to kick Bray. Bray sways out of the way. Sister Abigail gets the 1, 2, 3. And like their not swan song, but their their go away party for the Wyatt family win. I guess to give momentum to Bray head into SmackDown. One would have thought that maybe the New Day would win because the Wyatt family, we wasn't going to see all 3 members of the Wyatt family anymore. And even in the beginning, I just felt that it was something that for the New Day to do until SummerSlam, because after a while you can tell that it wasn't going to be for the belt. So I knew that from Gary. After a while, I was like, this ain't for the belts. This is going to be, a 6 week. I feel that after that, compound segment, the match probably should have been some no DQ, because like how you basically have an unsanctioned fight and then go into a sanctioned like rule match. In my opinion, it should have been like some no DQ. So Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family, they pick up the win over the New Day. Hey, shout out for you, Devin. Hey, Malcolm, what's good? I'm all right, Devin. And what's your thoughts on about Shelton Benjamin come back to SmackDown? Don't worry, Devin. Just like I told John, I will get to your comments after finish up this review. So we move on to basically the match of the night. No doubt about it. If somebody else feels the other way, won't hold it against them. But my opinion, I think you wouldn't go wrong with calling Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens the match of the night. I watched it 2 times because after the pay-per-view, when Chris came back from work, when Chris comes back, most of the time he's catching like the later portion of the show. He came in during the 6-man tag match, so he had to watch the stuff prior to him during the replay. So I got to see the match twice. But man, I enjoyed the hell out of this match, between Owens and Zayn. Despite the scary botch that happened with Sami Zayn, just like where Biggie's wasn't a botch, but it was a scary situation. It was a scary situation with Sami Zayn when he tried to go for the Arabian moonsault a la Sabu. But still gotta watch that, man. What? But unlike Sabu, it's kind of funny because Sabu is known for botching. But the bad thing with Sammy, I think when he did it, he got too much of his thighs, and instead of just springboarding right on Owens, he stayed up and almost landed head first, but he covered himself, and I thought he fractured his wrist or he broke his shoulder or something. But he was okay. But it seemed like Sammy and Owens, improvised, and they used that to enhance the match. And so the match was still physical as an Owens and Zayn match is. And there was some cool things, like there were some cool spots, like some interesting near falls, like when Sammy he tried to go for the DDT that he does through the turnbuckle connector. He got super kicked. He got damn near face erased. But then instead of like Owens like maybe pulling him out or so, while Sami is still in between the turnbuckle connector, Owens does the cannonball, and man, he knocked it was straight into Sami Zayn's head. They show on replay, you're like, damn. And then he hits the bullfrog splash. And I kid you not, I almost thought that was the end, because it was like 3 devastating moves. I could believe that to be the finish. And Sammy kicked out of it. Then later on, Sammy hit 2 great buckle exploders. I said in the chat room, I said, ever since coming to the main roster, those probably the best turnbuckle bombs, turnbuckle exploders he's done. Because it wasn't like how sometimes he does it, the person's feet just hit the turnbuckle. No. When he did it on Owens twice, no, Owens actually went into the buckle. But there was a situation where Sammy, he hit his half Nelson. It's like that half clutch, like suplex he does. But I'm not sure if Owens like no sold it, because when they showed the replay when he got it the first time, he landed on his knees. So I'm like, maybe if it wasn't a no sell, it was kind of good that he just popped right, because like he landed on his knees, he didn't land on his head or anything. So after he lands, he comes to try to come back, but this time he gets the real one, and then he goes for the Luva kick, but that gets blocked, that gets countered, and then he charges that one. He gets the no, he has to have him twice after he has to have Nelson have clutch soup, but it's a big near fall, and then he charges, and he gets the pop a power bomb, and I'm thinking, oh man, Owens gonna win again, but the lucky foot on the rope, because actually he touched her and then kept it underneath the ropes. And then it will lead to probably my favorite part. Oh, I forgot something. I forgot one of the biggest spots. When Sami Zayn hit a brainbuster like move. It looked like a brain. It looked like a super. They were supposed to be a brainbuster on the freaking apron. I don't know how I forgot about that. But then after the kick out of the Papa, or the rope break out the Papa Power Bomb, then comes my favorite part of the match where where Owen is telling Sami Zayn, why don't you stay down? He starts smacking the hell out of Sami. You can see the sweat coming off. Saw how hard he's slapping him. And he slapped him again. He's like, don't make me do this. And he slaps Sami again, and Sami's like, come on, like, keep fighting. And then Sami finally, retaliates a slap, which pisses Owens off. And when Owen gets pissed off, it's kind of funny, because that's when he's there. He looks like Boar's head. Yeah. And he gets the exploder, the exploder, the buckle exploder, and gets to have Nelson, suplex again. And then comes, Sami. You see in his eyes, close eyes, like, this is the moment. When we fought Neville, hits the haluva kick, but Owen falls on him, and Sami holds him up. And it looks at first like, probably compassion, but then he brings Owens up, puts him back in the corner, looks into his eyes, goes back, a haluva kick again, 1, 2, 3. I'm like, that is what you call storytelling. That was a fitting finish to this match. You guys were building this up as like their ending match, even though, in my opinion, that finish and everything just reinforced my reason of, like, why did you guys have them on the same brand? If you built it up as if, like, this was the end for them, or the momentary end for their feud. It's like, you should have just had them be on the separate brand. Two brands, SmackDown and Raw, so them both be on the same brand. But nonetheless, despite the botch, I love the hell out of this match between Owens and Sami Zayn. It was a match of the night, straight up. So, like I always say, you can know, but all the big spots that was in that match, it's that piece of storytelling with that ending was what I love. That's what I love, because it wasn't like Sami Zayn he squeaked out of victory. No, he won decisive. That sleeper like suplex, or sleeper half Nelson or half clutch suplex. Exploder bomb, the half clutch suplex, 2 Aluva kicks. You don't get any more decisive than that, man. It really helped, Sami Zayn's credibility. It really helped him as far as main roster wise. Showed that he's grit. He's gritty. He's the underdog from the underground, but he's grit, courageous, everything. Great match. From great performance from both men, and just match of the night. So then we get on to the next match. We go to the next match. It was a 6-man tag. No. Actually, it wasn't a 6-man tag. Actually, it wasn't the six man. No, the next match was the Natalia Becky match, and no, it was no one again. This match, there was really no bad matches, but it was pretty standard. However, it was nice to see some leg work from Natalia. It's pretty interesting that Natalia going this heel turn, and it's like she just has this, uh, you know, like she just has this high belief in herself now, where she's freaking, doing the winners claps and everything. It's getting, heat. The crowd's booing, like they're booing like this new, entitled personality of Natalia, which it's kind of like a far cry. It's like you would have thought that after her attacks on Becky that she would kind of be like, very like angry or intense, but it's like it was just like night and day. And it ended with Becky when she was on her comeback while the referee's trying to push her back. Natalia actually kicks through referee's legs into Becky's injured leg, which was pretty clever and pretty clever because like it's kind of a heelish move at the same time as not, because like it's heelish because she took advantage of the referee backing away Becky, but she did something clean in terms of attack wise, and she locks on the sharpshooter. And Becky lasted for a long time. I think it was like almost like a minute and some seconds before Becky finally tapped out. She lost. It showed very, resiliency, and determination from Becky. And somebody asked, how do you feel about Natalia winning? I'm like, since the way how it led to the finish with her capitalizing on the referee thing, you can tell that was going to be a rematch. And sure enough, it was a rematch that happened on the SmackDown with Becky winning. So, it was. I felt that I said if the match was given time, it could be something more. It was given time, but it was pretty standard. Then we get on to the 6-man tag, and in all honesty, in my opinion, I think the biggest highlight of the match took place before the match. And that was Enzo's promo. Kaz had some lines, but it was mostly an Enzo promo. Where Enzo is going in on the Bullet Club, and it's just like when I see Enzo do it, because it's like it was almost like a situation where you just let Enzo work the mic and see how far he can go and get this crowd riled up. When I see Enzo, cut these promos, it just reminds me of how he's able to put these things together. It just reminds me as if like he's one of those old school MCs. Like for those that know those old school MCs, like Rakim and like Rakim and like like Rakim and Big Daddy Kane and Run DMC, especially Rakim. Just like that, they can just put these things together, and you're like, yo, that was nice. That's what I always think of when I hear Enzo. It's like I just think of those old school MCs. So yeah, the biggest highlight to me was that, and that came before the match. But the match itself, the big spots of the match was when, of course, Enzo and Kaz did their almost like hurdle, or Fosbury, jump over the rope when Enzo gets thrown and he landed on the Bullet Club. Yes, the Bullet Club, the club. But then it was funny when Kaz threw AJ out the same way, but it was like, yo, you just had him land on your boy your boy Enzo. And watch out. The match would come to an end where it came down to Cena and AJ, and that was pretty, I was pretty expected. And first AJ fights off the Super FU, but then he actually gets Super FU and he gets pinned 1, 2, 3. Okay. So Enzo, Kaz, and Cena gets the win. It'll be the last time for now, so that the club would be together. So it was pretty interesting that it'd be the club's last time being together and they lose, but the Wyatts actually won it. It was their last time. I almost would have thought that maybe both of them would have lost. But then we get on to the main event for the WWE Championship. Dean Ambrose defending his title against. Oh wait, this is before that. You had the highlight reel segment between Randy Orton and Chris Jericho. Pretty entertaining segment, and it ended as we thought it would. Because I even said, "Here's the countdown." No, begin the countdown to Y2J getting RKO, and sure enough, that happened. But it was a pretty entertaining segment. One could say that could have been on a Raw, but it was pretty entertaining. So now we get into the main event. Dean Ambrose defending his title against Seth Rollins and the returning Roman Reigns. The Shield triple threat match that has been in the making since the breakup, or you can say since WrestleMania 31. Since that's when Rollins got the belt, and it just became them going against each other for the belt. So you can say that, however you want to slice it. And this match was good. No doubt about it. It was good. It was good. But you can tell. Part of me feels that there were certain spots where you would have thought it would have been Roman and Dean jumping Rollins, where it was Rollins and Dean jumping Reigns. It was probably feeling like it was just playing up. Well, remember, in a way like you got yourself some shit, and so now we're gonna punish you. It's like when they started all throwing physical at each other, and they just started wailing on Roman, and they did the homage to the Shield, but instead of it being Rollins, so it was Roman that got powerbombed through the table. Because of what happened with Roman being suspended, it was almost like, was that more because he's the bigger guy, so let's take him out, or it was a little bit of reflecting life that you effed up, so you're gonna be punished for it. But another thing I want to point out was when the match before they came out, and Stephanie and Mick Foley and Brian and Shane came out, I immediately said, I can smell the BS finish. I'm thinking, why are all four of them out here? Watch this be some overbooked thing where somebody's going, Stephanie is going to get involved, and then Shane going to get involved, and then there's going to be some big confusion or whatever. But fortunately, that was not the case. After Roman, hit the spear on Rollins, Dean picks him up. Dirty deeds, 1, 2, 3, clean in the middle, clean as freaking, as I saw on Snapple's, real facts thing, as clean as Antarctica's water. Dean Ambrose retains his championship and brings the WWE Championship to the Blue Brand. For me, it wasn't because I wasn't more happy that SmackDown got the belt. It was more of the continuation of booking Dean strong. Because I kid you not, there were plenty of articles where after Dean won that was questioning, is Dean really the champ? Like, is he really going to be the champion? Or, it was really only because, what found out the reason for why Roman lost, because, found out that, they knew about the whole thing before, during Money in the Bank, which is why he lost. So if you have that, okay, was it just by chance that Ambrose got the belt or so, or is he just holding it until Roman comes back? Because like they could easily have, okay, Roman comes back, that would have made made the crowd run rampant. It was like, wait a minute, how he come back from a suspension or so and he just wins the belt? But even people that we watched, me and my bro watched, Stephen Lawler, they felt that Rollins was going to get the belt back when they had their championship match by alone. So it was almost like the belief or the confidence of Dean holding the belt, maintaining his championship reign wasn't there. It's like we felt that he was just transitional. He's just a placeholder. So that's why I was happy about the win, because like not only did he keep his belt, but in 1 week in 1 week he beats Rollins and Reigns clean. That's why I enjoyed the most about that's putting him over strong. Putting him over real strong. And I had a feeling, and I said it. Well, not on the corner, but when I talked about it, I was like, if you guys not going to take Roman Reigns out of the match, then I think he should get pinned. As a way of, once again, hey, you kind of screwed up, so you're gonna have to, take the fall in the match, and that's what happened. So I was like, my prediction came true. Oh, there is no disqualification. So that don't take care of, Battlegrounds on 16. Battlegrounds on 16, I saw the comment from earlier. Oh, okay. Oh, zigzag. Um, okay, hold on. I saw. So, John, I think this was the best Battleground ever. Battlegrounds never, for the past 4 years that it's been held, it's not known for being, great. I think Battleground 2013. No, Battleground 2013. Was it 14? I know one of them was I think it was 14. Um, it was really man, watch out, the Pele. No, 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 no. Oh, um, hold on, let me look, because I remember talking about a certain Battleground that was really bad. It wasn't 15. 15 wasn't that bad, because that had Cena and Owens. That Cena was pretty good, even though that was the third match. Even though I felt that Reigns, Owens should have won that match. Let me check. Probably was 2000. Probably was 2014. Yeah, he's FUing everybody. Oh. Ow. Oh. Oh. Ziggler. Ziggler's the winner. Wow. There we go. Uh, it was 2013. 2013, the first ever Battleground, yeah, wasn't really all that good. The best thing of Battleground 13 was the Cody Rhodes Shield match. Everything else kind of felt like filler. But as far as Battleground 2016, I don't know, because 2015 was pretty good because you had that Sasha Charlotte Brie match, which was Sasha and Charlotte pay-per-view debut, and they put on good performance. And you had Owens and Cena. Even though I felt that the Money in the Bank and Elimination Chamber was better matches. Um, so, I mean, my opinion with Battleground 2016, it mostly was a two-match pay-per-view. The triple threat match and the Owens and Sami Zayn match. Not like every other match. Oh wait a minute! I forgot a match. I forgot a freaking match. The Intercontinental Championship match, probably the funniest match of the night for me, with Darren Young defending Darren challenging Miz for the IC belt. All right, this is probably the lowest. Probably made one of the lowest matches of the night. But the thing was, there was a part that was pretty funny. There was one part that was funny. Where you had Dean. I mean, I'm not saying because they're coming Dean there. You had Darren Young and Miz. They're really selling the backslide pin. I have not seen that in WWE like in a long time. Like they're really struggling for the backslide. And Darren Young finally gets the backslide pin. And all it leads to is him after Miz kicks out is getting big. Well, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. But then the finish comes where Maurice slaps Bob Backlund, and I kid you not, Bob Backlund sold it as if he got shot by a cannon, son. He gets slapped. I'm like, what the hell? And then all of a sudden, Maurice, she scurries backwards, and I'm like, is he trying to sell it as if like Bob Backlund put it? Then Bob start going crazy, and Darren Young is just staring. Everybody stands like, I'm like, okay, what's going on? What's really happening? So then Miz knocks Darren Young down, and then he gets in the face of Bob Backlund, and then he pushes, and I mean, he like lightly pushes Bob Backlund. And once again, Bob Backlund, and I'm like, and then Dean, why I keep saying Dean for it? Then Darren comes out and he puts on, instead of the crossface chicken, he puts on the Cobra clutch on Miz. And it's on the bell ring. It didn't even come across like it was a count out. It was like the bell just rung, and it's just like, what the hell just happened? And once again, it goes to my point with the Rusev, the Rusev, the Zack Ryder situation. Why do that finish between Darren Young and Miz look like you're prolonging just the first part of their feud, but you're not prolonging anything. You just tease them that's not going to happen. And then even when Bob Backlund the next night was like, you were so clear when you're going to get that belt. I'm thinking, hey, Bob, Darren can't get that belt. He's on Raw. So, that takes care. Now that I finally take care of Battleground 2016. It's really not that far of a stretch to probably say either last year or this year's Battleground was the best because, once again, like I said, Battleground hasn't really been known to be, a great, like a pay-per-view of like great you know, quality. Well, not that makes like it's like horrible, but no, it's not really known for. Oh yeah, it's a a candidate for a pay-per-view of the year because as all but Malcolm is a B show. Hey, there's been some B shows that have been candidates for the year. I mean, just look at Money in the Bank 2011. I'm just saying, but it's mostly a two-match pay-per-view in my opinion. You know, like the matches like you really can, invest in Owens and Zayn in the triple threat match. And I saw some. Okay, now to get on to the comments. Okay, John, I think they're playing the seats for a Roman heel turn. You could say that because even the match against Finn, him doing foot chokes and everything, it's like, okay, but hey, that's kind of related to a heel. Yeah, you can do that and be aggressive, but no, it's like that could be a little bit teased of a heel. But then also, I just want to say, so basically, this Battleground probably more like the key thing is Bayley's debut, and like I said, the two matches. John, do you think WWE Champ should be on Raw? No, I'm fine with the WWE Championship on SmackDown. But once again, I'm fine with just Dean holding the belt. So if that was the case, it was going to have to be on SmackDown. And for those that missed Raw, there's going to be a new belt that's based like a world belt. And instead of it being the World Heavyweight Championship, it's going to be the Universal Championship. And I kid you not, during the 2-month hiatus of the corner, and I was talking to my friends. I was talking today. I said jokingly, what are they gonna call the new belt? The Universal Championship? I'm like, I was like, oh my gosh, I freaking called that, but I called it in joke form. So yeah, the Universal Championship. And I said the only ways I could accept the Universal Championship off the bat is if it has its whole semblance to the Attitude Era belt. Since that had that globe on it, it looks kind of like it could be universal. If it looks like the Attitude Era belt, I would be, oh, that's pretty cool. John, they are setting up the tag team. Okay, John, you gotta have to kind of like specify, or a little bit of clarification on what you mean by setting up. Okay, which tag team? Like Double A? Okay, Shadow God. And what's your thoughts about Shelton Benjamin coming back to SmackDown? There was word of Shelton coming even before the draft even came, because there was a time where he worked a dark match, but nothing went. But it's like nothing came out. I was like, oh, Shelton worked a dark match. I'm thinking, oh, I guess he's gonna be coming back soon. And then like, okay, where the hell is Shelton Benjamin? So, and it's crazy to believe. It's crazy that the guy is 41. Believe it or not, Shelton's in his 40s. Okay, his early 40s, but still he's in his 40s. I remember when finding out his age, and he was pushing 40. He's like, I think he's like 30. At the time he was 30, I was like, what the hell? Like Shelton's pushing 40. I at least thought this guy was like, in his early 30s or at least 35 or something. I'm like 38. Whoa, he's pushing 40. John, do you think the women's champ will go to both shows? They haven't shown any signs of that being the case. Personally, when they announced that the cruiserweights was going to be exclusive to Raw, I thought, okay, maybe that means the women will be exclusive to SmackDown, because they just said it. It's almost like if you're a cruiserweight and you're going for that belt, you're going to be on Raw. So, like, okay, if Raw has their own specific division, probably SmackDown has a specific division. And personally, I disagreed with Raw getting the cruiserweight. I thought that should have went to SmackDown. Not only because that's what it was back in the day, but also it would have made clearer sense, because what is Bryan doing? Bryan is calling the Cruiserweight Classic. he's basically a part of the Cruiserweight Classic. And he's fought a lot of those guys that are in the Cruiserweight Classic. He knows most of them. So it would have made sense that he wants to have the Cruiserweight with him. But as far as the question, yeah, I don't think that's going to be a case that it'll be go to both shows. They probably would have announced that immediately. That when Charlotte got drafted, that yeah, but the belt can be defended on both shows. That's how it was for those of you that remember, or if you don't remember, when they did the initial brand extension, the Undisputed and the Women's Champion could go on both shows. And at the time of the draft, I believe the Women's Champions the Women's Champion was Jazz, and the Undisputed Champ at the time of the draft, it was Triple H. So they were the only two that could go to both shows. They go on both shows. So yeah, I'm not sure if, I don't think it's going to be on both. It would be pretty cool because at one point it's like, until they announced a belt for the women's division or for SmackDown, it's like, what are they fighting for? And what's interesting is that Becky Lynch actually brought that up in an interview with Xavier Woods, I think during like Comic-Con. She brought that, like, it's kind of weird that, it's kind of weird with this brand because we don't have a belt, so it's almost like, what are we fighting for? And I'm like, oh, look, she even brought it up. Because, like, yeah, what are they fighting for? Those wins and losses are not really actually going to go towards something. So, but I'll tell you, they bring a second belt, that'll not be a deal. That would just be counterproductive. I ain't calling this thing the women's division. Still calling it a women's division match, but it's for the Divas belt. And like, you guys have completely rid yourselves from the Divas tournament. John, how long do you think the brand split will last? Good question. My question would be more of how long will it stay, concrete, like the rules. Because after a while, even when there was the Raw brand of SmackDown, it got to a point where, oh yeah, the belts are switching over. There's a time where it all started when did it start? It all started like in 2009. Because in 2009, when Edge won the World Heavyweight belt, he was part of SmackDown. The funny thing is, at Nowhere 2009, Edge in the beginning of the show, he lost his WWE Championship. He lost it to he lost the Elimination Chamber. Triple H won it, and then John Cena was World Heavyweight Champion, and Edge took Kofi out and somehow got in the match, and he won the belt. And it was always like, wait, but he's SmackDown. What the hell's going on here? And it was really interesting because then the start of the Triple H Randy Orton feud, it was mostly held on Raw. So it was like, wait a minute, Triple H is SmackDown, but he's mostly on Raw. And that was 2009 was like the real start of when the rules started to be blurred. You're almost like, okay, is this brand thing really going? Because then the Intercontinental and United States start switching over. In 2009, the U.S. went over to Raw and the Intercontinental went over to SmackDown. And it was just like, oh, okay. Then the Divas and Women's, it switched over. And okay, I think it was because of the draft, but still, it was almost like. And then when they did the whole Raw Super Show stuff, where Raw could have SmackDown people, it's almost like that's when you really start seeing. It's like, wait, is there really a brand extension now? Is this really brands? because most of these SmackDown storylines are being told on Raw. And this was before 2 hours even came. So my bigger thing is, okay, how long does it stay? Yeah. If you're on Raw, you're on Raw. If you're on SmackDown's on SmackDown. To the point that if somebody does show up on a different show, it's like, what the hell they're doing here? Like it was in the early years of the brand extension. So that's be my bigger thing. How long are they going to stay, stay abiding by this extension? Not really, okay, how long before they just say, all right, done with it, we're back to just one big roster. Devin, to be honest, Malcolm, and this is just me, I thought the Sami Zayn versus Kevin was okay. Just being honest with myself. Hey, if that's how you feel, we ain't gonna hold you to it. I mean, I'm not gonna. Personally, I feel it was the match of the night. John, who do you think should win at SummerSlam, Finn or Rollins? I think Finn. For those of you that don't know, yeah, Finn Balor, his debut on Raw was a big debut. He won a fatal four-way to get into a number one contenders match against Roman Reigns. He beat Roman Reigns clean, which shocked me. Well, then Finn Balor beating Roman Reigns is not surprising. Not saying, I could not see Roman Reigns. I mean, Finn Balor beating Roman Reigns. I can see that. So I could see, I could see Kevin Owens. Like I could have saw Kevin Owens beating John Cena. He got the skill, but it's more of I don't think WWE would have that happen. That's one of those things. It's like, oh yeah, I don't think. But I was like, I doubt they would have that happen. So that's why we're like, oh my God, it happened. But so yeah, it's gonna be Finn versus Seth, because Seth Rollins got a first class ticket to the Universal Championship match. It's like, come on. But to answer your question, who do you think should win at SummerSlam? No. Oh yeah. I think Finn should. I know it would come across as like a rocket push, like, oh man, it's within 4 weeks of debuting on the main roster, he become WWE champion. I mean Universal champion. But even if he was to lose, I think the seed has already been planted that, or the Bills already started that, yeah, he set out to be probably the top face of on the Raw brand, because they've already helped his credibility to anybody that did not know of Finn Balor. The fact that he won a big fatal four-way and he beat Roman Reigns, who we clearly could see at one point in time WWE was pushing to be, the face of the company. That's now in doubt now, because I was like, you don't have, Roman, like they wouldn't have Roman Reigns lose clean back-to-back nights if he was still going to be. They were still going to push him. You got to see it like that. I mean, you don't have to, but you can really see it like that. You can believe that. And no pun intended. That maybe they're fully going with this. No way punishing him. Like, hey, you're going to take some losses, and not just any loss. You're going to take clean losses. Even though I'm okay with somebody losing clean. I understand why some people don't lose. Well, not really. I gotta put it. It's more of, I can understand why, like a John Cena, so he's not gonna lose on Raw. I can expect that. It's like, okay, all right, they win a lot, so when they lose, so if they lose on paper, it feels like a big deal. But but naturally, it gets to the point where you see somebody keeps winning every time, like especially if they have a match every week and they're winning, and you count the pay. It's almost like you get tired, like, you know, I'm tired of seeing them win. But at the same time, it's like if this top guy lost every after a while, it's almost like it's not that big of a deal seeing them lose. And it's supposed to be a big deal. You know, winning over them supposed to mean like a big thing. So, but Roman, he lost clean twice. In fact, his past 3 losses have been clean. Especially with Roman, he got pedigree twice. So I really doubt that Roman Reigns is going to, by this year, but with this year, he's going to be, the top guy. But we still don't even know what did he really do. Like, we know he got suspended for failing the drug test. Okay, what really happened? I saw somewhere that said that he had a prohibited drug that was banned. It's like, okay. John, I hope Apollo wins. Now we know who won. Dolph. John, they are bringing back Backlash back. Bring all the clap back. Yeah, they're bringing Backlash. I saw that even before they announced it. But my thing is, I'm so used to Backlash being after Mania. Because Backlash was supposed to be like the revenge pay-per-view. That was the theme. And in my opinion, if you brought Backlash back, then you should probably do away with Payback. Because that's what Payback felt like. What Payback, this past Payback felt like. The one that just passed was actually after WrestleMania, unlike being after Extreme Rules. I always thought Payback, I almost sound like we're like Backlash. So, yeah, they're bringing back Backlash. They're bringing back No Mercy. They're also bringing back Clash of Champions. Clash of Champions is taking the spot of Night of Champions. John, do you think Cena put Enzo and Kaz over? I think Kaz and Enzo, they put themselves over, got themselves over. But I think Cena kind of put them over by, especially with just letting Enzo just talk, not intervening. He just let Enzo and Kaz work the mic. He just let them be. So I think that was a way that he actually, put them over. And the funny thing is that Cena was one of the first guys on the main roster that actually endorsed Enzo and Kaz. Found out like in an interview with Enzo and Kaz, I think they had an interview with Sam Roberts, and they talked about how one time they was at a live event and Cena was out there and he just brought them out unexpectedly. They didn't even know. He brought them out there and just wanted to see what they were about. And they got that crowd riled up like that. So Cena was one of the first guys on the main roster, to endorse Enzo and Kaz. And I think that's why it wasn't too surprising when I saw them help Cena. It's like, Cena did endorse them in real life, so maybe, John, I hope they don't turn Finn heel just to put him with the club. Yeah, when it was announced that the club was drafted to Raw, I was like, wait a minute. Finn's on Raw. Are they gonna do the original trio of the Bullet Club? But then I started like, wait a minute. You can acknowledge it, but at this point, it's like, I don't think that would be a good move. Because I think now you definitely need Balor as a top face instead of a top heel. Unless you're going to do some double turn where Rollins turns face and Finn turns heel. But personally, I think I would rather like Finn and Rollins with Balor as the face and Rollins as the heel, because I could just picture Rollins, selling, the demon stuff pretty well. So I think, I agree with y'all. For right now, I hope they don't go right into, let's have Finn turn heel and be with, his bros. Okay. Hey, Danny. Finn and Rollins are going to fight. Yes, they are, Danny. They're going to fight at SummerSlam. John, yes, Finn beat Roman on Raw to get to. Oh yeah. Okay, so John, yeah. I'm trying to answer that. This has been the best week of the WWE in a long time. Yeah, that Raw for the first Raw of the officially of the new era was good. It had a good flow. No, mostly the fluff was out. Now, yeah, you had those two squash matches, but the squash matches, with Nia having this against Britt, what was her name? Britt, um, I think it was like Britt Blake. It was such a made up name. Um, Hold on, let me see if I can search it up. Uh, it was like some real made up. It was like a real made up name. I'm just trying to. It was just like what? Yeah, there we go. Britt Baker. It's like that's just sounds like we just need a name, a quick name for you go out there and get squad. Your name is Britt Baker, BB. It's just like Britt Baker. But yeah, so yeah, Nia had a squash and Strowman had a squash, which were necessary. I know there's people that don't really like squash, but I understand. Not liking a one-sided match, but at the same time, squash matches they do, they are necessary at times because like I was telling Chris, like a general thing talking to him, like if you're really building this for like a dominant force, how are you building up them like they're like dominant if every win of theirs is they're squeaking out victories? Yeah, it kind of be like, oh man, they've like undefeated, but it's like at the same time, like okay, how are you like, oh, this person's so dominant, but it's like, but wait, all their matches they come close to losing every time. So like, shouldn't be when they come close to losing, it's like a big deal. Like, oh shoot, this person's about to beat them, but it's almost like, oh yeah, this person's so far, this person's going to be dominant. Why you guys keep saying that? It always goes down to the wire with their matches. So how are they really that dominant? It could be dominant in terms of their winning streak, but in terms of like their, like I guess their aura. So it's like, oh my God, it's just like, So yeah, you got to kind of build that dominant aura. So when it does come to actually do have a competitive fight with somebody, a match, it's like, oh, shoot, this is something new. But with that most of that Raw, most of all the fluff was taken out, and you had the two Fatal Fours were good. The Finn Balor Roman Reigns match was good, and then the women's match between Charlotte and Sasha was damn good. Even though that match had a scary situation when Sasha went for a suicide dive, and I kid you not, it was reminiscent of the Lita Trish match when Lita went for a suicide dive and bounced off like a freaking freaking um, oh my God, like it's like a freaking spring. It was just like crazy. It almost happened with Sasha. Her body just like went like this, and you're like, oh my God. But she seemed okay, and she actually got the win, tap out victory against Charlotte, wins the belt. I actually thought after when they did the interview, when she got interviewed, I thought maybe here comes Nia Jax. Kind of Ray Simmons sees that, yeah, her and Sasha. But it was an awesome match between Charlotte and Sasha. My only nitpick is the same thing. My nitpick with mostly all of Charlotte's matches is that after she loses, she doesn't even sell whatever damage. Using a bank statement for a long, almost like a minute or so, and the only thing you can do is just pout. You're not even selling the effects of it. And I like Charlotte, but that's always been my nitpick with her. Is it's almost like when she wins, she goes back to 100 HP after a match. Like she goes back to 100 HP, win or lose. Okay, let's see something there. I think Finn and Rollins will still show at SummerSlam. But now they got Dean and Dean and Dean Ambrose, Dean and Ziggler. So I think SummerSlam tournament title match is pretty good. John, oh, you're talking about the Hype Bros. So yeah, I understand. I understood that, but it was just. It also seemed as though okay, you could be doing Rusev go against Mojo, but that match ain't gonna happen. John, where do you think Joe should go when he's called up? I want most remember because I want to see Joe and versus AJ. Yeah, I would like to see Joe versus AJ on the main roster. I think that's something that kind of has to be done to show more of, evolution of their feud. John, who do you think should beat the New Day? Pretty easy, I think. I think it should go the Bullet Club, then for Enzo and Cass. Even at one point, I thought it would be Enzo and Cass beating the New Day. John, do you think AJ would turn face because the club has gone to Raw? Maybe not soon, because I'm not gonna lie, AJ, he's been pretty flourishing, with his heel. I was kind of against it, him turning heel on Johnson, because it was almost like, of course, he turns on John Cena, but he's been pretty nailing it. You can see that he's really enjoying himself, and that's why it was almost like a way. In a way, it was almost a little bit of shame that they broke up the club, because it was almost like you break them when they're kind of gelling at this moment. You can really see that, yeah, they're pretty gelling. They're having they're clicking, And so I was almost like, oh, you broke them up kind of so soon. They're kind of, getting, their groove. If, Danny Joe should go to SmackDown because I want him to fight Bray Wyatt. That could be a good match. That could definitely be a good match. Joe versus Bray. And speaking of Joe, I just want to say it right now. This has probably been the best work Joe has done. Joe has been killing it ever since, ever since the whole thing with him and Finn started. And now when he's become, I heard his promo he cut during the NXT episode that it was Shinsuke versus Finn that main evented. That promo he cut was a good heel promo. Good heel promo. And by the way, Shinsuke versus Finn, great match. I enjoyed it as I knew I would. And also, speaking of Wednesdays, I've been enjoying the Cruiserweight Classic. Friday, me and Chris finally got the time to watch the Cruiserweight Classic. We enjoyed it. John, do you think Bray should have stayed with his family? Yes and no. Yes, because that is a core point, a core feature of Bray's character. That, yeah, he has like this family around him. It's not like he can have anybody with him. Just like at that compound. We didn't see the faces of those, but the people that was holding the lights, but it just showed that, yeah, he has more people other than Strowman, Rowan, and Luke. Luke Harper, who's possibly retiring. So, but then no, because maybe there's opportunity of Bray of becoming officially a top heel, where he's maybe in the title picture more often than not. His character is really not really expressed a desire for the belts, more of a desire to watch the world. But at the same time, you would think, you know, maybe his character will want the title because, you know, you know, it's almost like he comes from nothing, but he now has something, and he knows by having this belt, it will bring on challengers that he likes to watch the world burn, and he likes to crush dreams. That by having these challenges come with their hopes and dreams to become champion, he has the power of crushing them. John, now we won't see Sister. I don't think we're ever going to see Sister Abigail. I don't think we're ever going to see Sister Abigail because this has been like, I think over since Bray's been Bray on the main roster since 2013. I remember one time, people thought. I remember Slacker Bray, my friend Steve. I remember he thought that maybe Caitlyn was going to be Sister, especially when she died. She came back, and out of nowhere she turned heel because they were doing that whole Total Divas versus whatever AJ's group was called. And she dyed her hair was now brunette. Some people thought that, wait a minute, is there more to it, to that hair color change than she just changed her hair color? They thought, maybe Kaylin's gonna be Sister Abigail. And then independent wrestlers Santana Garrett, and if those that have seen her in TNA as Brittany, people thought that she was gonna be Sister Abigail because she one time took a photo where she was Sister Abigail. And I remember my friends in school, Darnell, he thought she was going to be. And I'm thinking, I don't think so, because prior to that, she took a picture as Ultimate Warrior. So I think it was more like themed, like photos she was taking, instead of, oh yeah, she's doing that because she's showing that she's going to be Sister Abigail. No, I guess because I brought AJ. Do you think AJ will ever return? As a full-time competitor, I don't think so. But then again, stranger things have happened in wrestling. Stranger things have happened. I would like to see her make a, surprise appearance. I wouldn't go on to say that, AJ's absence has been majorly felt. Like, it's just like, oh gosh, now that she's gone. For me, it's like, it's not like, oh, now that she's gone, there's nothing left. I mean, there was at one point where, and there's even an article on it, that when AJ, when she lost the belt to Paige, and she was off TV for a while, there was an article that, there was such a big gap because she wasn't there anymore. And that was solely because how WWE booked her. Because, I remember somebody was like, they felt that Paige got the biggest push in like WWE history in terms of women's wise. I remember thinking, I was like, I disagree. Just because Paige makes her debut after WrestleMania and beats AJ in an impromptu match, I wouldn't consider it the biggest push. I'm like, AJ, you think, has had the biggest push in terms of women's wise, sort of like women's wrestling wise. Not like she started off as, like a Stephanie or so. Well, yeah, she was never a wrestler, but she was in like, big time angles or so. Even though Trish was involved in some big time feature with the males, but not like AJ. I was like, you think about AJ, she came in as just AJ Lee, embracing her geeky, her geek, culture and everything, with her and Caitlyn. Then she gets with Brian, and she's a pretty key uh, part of the Brian Big Show feud when she got bulldozed over. Then she plays a part in Brian's loss at WrestleMania. Then when Brian kicks her to the curb, that's when she starts, the crazy stuff and starts stalking like CM Punk. And when she played tonsil hockey with Kane, that's like really started the whole, you gotta dig crazy chicks. And the crowd just really started going crazy for AJ. Then, after Punk basically said Punk basically doesn't want to do with her anymore. She goes back with Brian, and then or not even remember that. Even before that, she was the focal point of the Brian Punk Money in the Bank match. It was all about AJ to the point where she became special guest referee. It was like throughout the bill, it was like, is this really for the belt? Is this more about AJ? And then after, she leaves Brian at the freaking altar or wedding or whatever, and she's announced general manager. So it's like, wait a minute, she's general manager? And then finally, after she's done being general manager, she's in a angle with Cena, Ziggler, and Vicky, which she's in an angle with Johnny Boy Cena, the company guy. And then she turns on him, and then finally she becomes Women's Divas Champion. So way before she became Divas Champion, AJ was already involved in big time stuff. I'm like, how can you not call that like the biggest push in terms of women? In terms of women wise, just because Paige, like the only Paige would just come from the NXT and win the belt on the first night, compared to what AJ did, that was light. And then when AJ won the belt, she held it for over. I believe she held it for over almost close to a year. And then at WrestleMania, they basically had her beat the entire roster. She didn't beat them like one by one or so, but all of the roster, all the women's roster division was in that match, and she came out victorious. So finally, she lost by Paige. She lost to Paige. So it was almost like, if anything, AJ's had the biggest push on women's. John, do you think they will make Finn the biggest star since, they can try. I mean, personally, I've said it before. I remember this was, I think, probably back in 2015 or last year. I'm trying to that makes it seem like 2015 was so long ago. I remember 2015 talking with Nate. He asked me, who are, I think, two people. I think he specified male wise and female wise. Who are two that you feel they can go to the main roster and get over immediately? My selections were Finn and Sasha. I said with Sasha, she has the personality. She has the personality. That boss thing, she got that down pat. She's got the skills. In terms of ring, she can cut a pretty good promo. I'm like, she's got the tools to get over on the main roster. And as for Finn, I'm like, okay, Finn's not known for his promos, but my thing was that demon thing, that's easily marketable. You can easily market that. Somebody sees Finn and they see that demon, like, whoa, who's that? And that's pretty cool. I will say this though. One of my fears with Finn on the main roster is not even how they'll book him. Because so far, WWE's kind of, the main roster has shown that, okay, he's probably going to be just fine. My fear is that WWE on the main roster, they are going to overuse the Demon, and that shouldn't be the case. I don't think that hasn't been the case for Finn. The makeup, the war paint, whatever you want to call it, is used for special occasions. That's what makes it special. That's what made it special in Japan. That's what made it special in NXT. NXT, it was done for the takeovers, except for one takeover. And the only takeover that Finn did not come as the Demon was Respect. Dusty Rhodes Classic. He did not come out as the Demon. But yeah, that's my fear with Finn on the main roster. That the Demon thing is going to get overused. And because WWE has a habit, when they have something good, they milk it for what it's worth. They'll freaking squeeze all of it out. So when it's like you just kind of now it's like, come on now, you did too much. Danny, AJ Lee may be crazy, but Psycho Sid wrote the book on being crazy. You can say that again because if people that feel that, that really wasn't a gimmick with with Sid. He was kind of off his rockers. Danny, AJ Lee. Oh no, I already read that. Danny, when Sasha did that truth to Eddie last night, I nearly lost there. I got so hyped. Yeah, man. That I definitely understood what that was. Like Eddie's, Eddie's her inspiration. Eddie's the one that got her into wrestling. Her seeing Eddie, she was such a fan of Eddie, just what she wanted to do. And that's why at WrestleMania, it was an homage to Eddie, her attire. And for her to do that, it was cool. It was like, I know where that came from. And I think the crowd did too, And that was the thing. I don't think it's like overlooked that, Eddie was a huge inspiration to Sasha. I think the fans know that. And it's like, so they've really caught on to when Sasha did that. It wasn't just like, oh yeah. Like, oh yeah, she pulled Dana. So I was like, her idol, her hero, Eddie. John, who do you think will take the NXT Women's Championship from Asuka? I know I spelled her name wrong. Yeah, only thing you were missing, John, was a U. Good question. Good question. And I always feel that it's pretty cool when if that is a question. It's a little bit doubtful when you're like, wait, who's gonna take the belt from you first? So I was like, I know for sure it's gonna take the belt from this person. It's pretty cool. I think that's kind of a mark of a good championship reign when it's like, okay, man, who's gonna take the belt from the person? But to answer the question, it could be Bayley again, but it's good that you bring up the women's division or the women's championship of NXT, John, because that was the thing that me and Chris talked about, after the draft, is that because Nia Jax went to Raw and Alexa Bliss went to SmackDown and Carmella went to SmackDown, it was like, man, you just took away three credible people of that division. Because the credible people of the women's division of NXT before the draft were Asuka, Bayley, Nia, Bliss, and Carmella. Those five. While everybody else were kind of, enhancement talent. So when that happened, the draft happened, I was like, oh man, that kind of puts the women's division for NXT in a vulnerable position because now it's just Asuka and Bayley. And now knowing that Bayley, that thing at Battleground was a one-off thing, we can believe. I think we can believe eventually Bayley's going to make it to the main roster. But for right now, she's still in NXT. So as now it's just Oscar and Bailey. That's just occurred. Now it's like now they're gonna have to go into rebuild mode for the women's division because and it's not like they don't have talent for women's division. You got yeah, I like calling her Jessica McKay instead of Billy Kay. It's good. I watched her in Shimmer. She's come. She's definitely grown into a good wrestler. I I know of Tessa Blanchard. Telly's daughter, but I've really not really got the chance to really see her match until she's come on NXT. But so far, she's just been used as enhancement talent. Then you have is it Peyton Royce? Like the Venus flytrap. Yeah, she got some talent too, but so far she's just been used as enhancement talent. So they're not going to rebuild mode. I know that Athena, I think her name is for NXT is it's going to be Ember Moon. She's not. So I think if it's not going to be Bailey, it's probably going to be Athena that will take the bump from Asuka. And they've had a match, I believe, in Shimmer before. I still got to see that match. I believe they've had a match in Shimmer. If it's not Bailey, then it'll probably be, Athena that would do it. But yeah, the women's of NXT is now they're gonna have to rebuild it now. Okay. Danny, Finn should only use the demon at pay-per-view. I would agree with that, but at the same time, I won't. Because unlike the takeovers, the pay-per-views are on an average 4 weeks from each other. So it's almost like every 4 weeks every month you're seeing the demon. Unlike takeover, where the takeovers will be kind of spread out within months. Like, use for instance, takeover London. That was in December. Then takeover, Dallas was in April. Then takeover the end was in the June. So yeah, that's 2 months from each other. So while I can understand it being done on pay-per-views, at the same time, it's like because on average the pay-per-view build is like so short, I would kind of like it to be, maybe SummerSlam, Survivor Series, the big 4 pay-per-views. Or if it's like he gets into a high stake, feud. Let's say Finn, I doubt it, but for right now, I doubt it. But let's say Finn gets to a feud where it gets so important that it naturally leads to a Hell in a Cell. Then definitely he brings out the demon. It'll feel fitting. Hell in a Cell, he brings out the demon. I don't mean like the Hell in a Cell paper. I mean, I think that's done, and I think that's over with. I'm kind of happy about that. But I would probably mean the Hell in a Cell going back to actually being used naturally instead of just, it's a yearly thing, just because the pay-per-view, just for the sake of it, we'll have it. So I think if Finn ever gets into a blood feud like that, where it has to come in a Hell in a Cell, I would definitely like to see the demon for that. Okay. John, would you want to see Jeff Hardy versus Finn? Yeah, I would like to see Jeff Hardy versus Finn. I would like to see Jeff Hardy go against a lot of people now that's on the main roster. Because I think that would be a classic. On paper, yeah, and I think and the reason I say on paper, I'm not, trying to, knock, your match, but it's just, sometimes we're going to say on paper because there's been a couple of matches that you think on paper it sounded good, but then when it came out, you're like, oh man, it wasn't all that good. It was okay. Like for instance, on paper, Cena and AJ sounded great and looked forward to it. But when you watch the match, while it was good, you definitely feel that it could have been a whole lot better. And I still feel Cena looked rusty in that match. John put Del Rey in the mix. Yeah, that's something that we've always been wondering. Like, is there ever going to come a time where, Del Rey at least has a match or is in a program for NXT? Almost like she's tired of being the trainer. It's like now it's time for her to punish or whatever. Like she's got fed up to one of the, she wants to punish, the people that she's trained or so. I don't know. But I would like to see Del Rey, get back in the ring. Big fan of Def Rey. Big fan. Danny, since the Cruiserweights are coming back to the WWE, should they bring up the guys in Cruiserweight Classic? I think that's what naturally they're going to do. Somebody, I think it was Chris, are they going to bring up, I'm thinking, I was like, I don't think they're going to bring up everybody that's in this Cruiserweight Classic. That's be 32 people. You be adding 32 people to the roster. I don't know if WWE wants it to be that big. They're probably going to, Kota Ibushi, I could definitely see being on Raw for the Cruiserweight. Cedric Alexander could definitely see. If he's not going to go into NXT, Tozawa, who else? I can even see them bring into Jersey just to have that veteran, on the roster. So, yeah, I could definitely, so I can see. I think most of the people that's going to make up the Cruiserweight division on Raw will be from the Cruiserweight Classic. John, did you like the final deletion? I got to see that final deletion program. Okay, it was like a segment in a match. It was like a match segment. And all I had to do was just shake my head just like in disbelief or so. I mean, I got put on Facebook, if this is what it's got to take for TNA to get some attention and get people talking, because to their credit, these weird things between Matt and Jeff, or I think they're now over, they got people talking about TNA. Like that contract signing, which was freaking hilarious, was laughably bad. I mean, so yeah, a friend showed me the found deletion match because I was hearing, I'm like, what the hell is this found deletion thing? I'm like, what type of match is this? And I really thought like they were gonna be like in some virtual reality thing or something, like some cyberspace. That's why I thought about it. First I thought, I sound like someone gonna be in cyberspace. There's like drones and everything. And I'm just like, oh, what is this? Dart is in WCP. Dart. John, like do you mean Davari's brother? Who do you mean by Dart? Who do you mean by Dart? And I think WCP is What Culture Pro Wrestling. I think that was WCP is. When WCPW is What Culture Pro Wrestling. But I also want to talk a little bit, about now that we have this brand extension. And now that we've seen the first week of the brand extension, I just got to point out is that I thought that with this brand extension, they were going to change the stages. They were going to look different. So when Raw comes, I look at the stage. Seems like they kept the same Titantron, they kept the same Subtron, and they added some stuff around to make it look different. I'm like, okay. I'm like, it could have been a little bit more. Damn, okay, then maybe SmackDown look different. Nope. So it's like still, Raw and SmackDown have the same sets. The only difference is that Raw has a ramp and SmackDown has an aisle. I'm like, yo, what happened? Like, what happened to setting like the atmosphere, setting the themes of these shows with pretty unique sets? I mean, me and my friends were talking on the chat when we saw the opening of SmackDown and the opening like video, they showed a fist. I'm thinking, wait a minute, right? You still using the famous SmackDown fist, but why not? You guys not gonna put the fist like in the stage or something? And another thing to differentiate Raw and SmackDown was that it's going 2000 like it was like late 2002. Yeah, how JR and King, their announcers table moved up to near the stage. They've gone back to that for Raw. While SmackDown is still in the same, by ringside. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. I'm like, I have no problem with that. And the commentary team, it was pretty cool that JBL wasn't freaking just randomly yelling, like he normally did on Raw with Cole and Byron. So that was a plus. Still got to warm up to David Otunga on commentary. And I always like Corey Graves in commentary. He brings kind of a little bit of that Jesse Ventura color commentary. And the commentary on Raw was not that bad. Was really not bad at all. Byron's gookiness sometimes just kind of like, this guy's just a dork, in a bad way. Do you watch WCPW? If not, it is great. No, I do not watch World Culture Pro Wrestling. I know Blue Goblin, he did a review on it. I didn't check out the video, but excuse me. But no, I do not watch WCPW. That's not to say that I won't. Maybe I'll choose to watch it, but as of right now, I do not watch WCPW. Jump. What is it I want to talk about? Before I wrap this up. Oh, unfortunately, on this SmackDown, when they did that Battle Royal to determine who's going to be a sixth man for the six-pack challenge, I said to myself, or I said to my friends in the chat, I said, the interesting thing is that this Battle Royal exposes the lack of credibility in terms of single wrestlers SmackDown has. Because, okay, you have Kane, but at this point, Kane, not really a main event player. You had Del Rio in there, who in a way has kind of been upper mid card. You got Apollo there, who's still mid card, he's still fresh face. And then you had Kalisto. He was United States champion, but after a while, you can tell that it wasn't going to go really fully to like high places. Then you had Breezango. Then you had the Usos. Like, the Usos. The Usos, they're not really going to do anything single wrestling position. And I still feel that they should not break up the Usos. I really don't see them really breaking out as solo acts. Then you have the Vaudevillains. Once again, tag team. You have Ryder and Mojo there. Okay, Ryder. All right, Ryder. Yeah, the hype, but you first kind of think of Ryder as a singles guy. But at the same time, his current position, you're like, okay, I really don't see Ryder, you know, actually going to the final. Or even if he did make it to the sixth man challenge, like you don't really see him winning. And then who else you had? You had Eric Rowan. So again, Eric Rowan is not really going to do much. I mean, he had a single run before, and nothing really came out of it. And who else was there? Who else was there? Oh, the Ascension tag team, but then again, not just that, WWE hasn't really done anything with them. So I think I'm missing a couple other people, but still, that battle royal really exposed kind of the lack of depth that the SmackDown roster has outside of John Cena, Orton, Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, AJ Styles. Seems like they're gonna do stuff more with Dolph Ziggler. They're trying to bring him back. And Baron Corbin, I think that was just to get his foot in the door, to just have a fresh face. But I think that Baron Corbin's still gonna be a mid carder, probably upper mid carder. But that in terms of the single division, I think that really exposed SmackDown. That really did. That exposed SmackDown in a worse, but in a bad light. That just showed, he is almost like I said, it was like to the point where even if this person wins it, I doubt they have a chance. Like I could believe them winning the six-pack challenge. It was good to see Apollo. Okay, I remember it was like I had a couple of friends that was like, they don't want Apollo win because he shouldn't be close to the top. But I'm thinking, well, Baron Corbin's already close to the top, so I'm like, then you could easily have Apollo be close. I'm not saying Apollo should be in main event picture by now, but you already got Corbin kind of close to a title match. So, okay, Apollo's now close to one. It doesn't mean he's going to win it. And he did pretty well for himself in that six-pack challenge. It was your typical multi-man where people are down like forever, like just a little move or so, and they're down like freaking 7 minutes or so. And not even like they're hurt. They're just laying there. Like, let me just wait here. And yeah, they like zoomed up on Cena Colin. He's just like, what's going on? But once again, that battle really exploded. Because like I said, it's one thing if this person wins it, then it's like, okay, they won it, but it's like, okay, can I actually believe them winning it? And that's why I felt it really exposed Smack. Because like, okay, let's say Tyler Breeze won. I ain't gonna believe that he's gonna win the six-pack. Like, he has a chance to win it. So, John, I wish all pay-per-views were all shared instead of 2 a month. We gotta see how does this play out with the brand exclusive pay-per-views, because as I've said plenty of times on the Wrestling Corner, even when it was the Bennett Brothers Wrestling Corner, we will always say is that the cons of the brand exclusive pay-per-views were that there would be matches where, because there would be matches for people that didn't really have any credibility with them, but because it was a Raw SmackDown, they were in it. They were on the card. And you could tell from the crowd, and they really didn't care much about the match. It just felt like filler. So those were like the cons of the brand exclusive pay-per-views. There's only been like a couple of brand exclusive pay-per-views that were like top-notch pay-per-views. And the ones that stick out to me instantly, Vengeance 2003, the first SmackDown brand exclusive pay-per-view. And Vengeance 2005, when for the first time ever, the WWE and the heavyweight were defended on a Raw exclusive pay-per-view. Batista versus Triple H. Arguably, I say Batista's best match, if you don't count his match with Undertaker. And then John Cena had a triple threat match with Christian and Chris Jericho, which was great. And he had Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels Part 2, which was also great. And even Edge and Kane had a pretty, I was like say I haven't seen a match in a while, but I remember it being really good. So there's only like 2 and probably, I don't think of maybe another one. Unforgiven 2006 wasn't all that bad. Unforgiven 2006 wasn't all that bad. Because they had Trish and Lita, Trish's last match. You had Edge and Cena in the TLC. And you had the 3-on-2 on some match with DX versus the McMahons and Big Show. But majority of the time, the brand exclusives, they were like really like stereotypically B show. Like you could really pass on. Like okay, pass. So I really want to see with the rosters they have, could they really put together, good brand exclusive pay-per-views? But I will say, John, that I do disagree with having 2 a month on the non-big 4 pay-per-view months. Because for September, you're going to have a Raw pay-per-view and a SmackDown pay-per-view. Once again, you're only giving these things 4 months to build. 4 weeks of build. Where it used to be September was Unforgiven. October was No Mercy. So after SummerSlam, SmackDown had a month and a half to build up No Mercy, which helped out in a way for their main matches. And then during October, Raw had a good way of building up to Survivor Series, even though that was a cross-brand pay-per-view. And then New Year's Revolution was in January. So from half of November to all the way December to a little bit of January, Raw had a good time of building up New Year's Revolution for whatever main match it was. John, I love No Way Out 2005. I have yet to watch No Way Out 2005 all the way through. The only match I remember watching No Way Out 2005 was John Cena versus Kurt Angle. Oh, okay. Here's another brand exclusive pay-per-view that actually gets recognition, and it is a No Way Out. No Way Out 2006. I'm talking about as an overall card. Because No Way Out 2004 is mostly talked about because of Eddie's big win over Brock, which was a good match. Oh, and the segment between Goldberg and Brock, and the triple threat match, and I believe the cruiserweight match between Chavo and Ray. Once again, most of the time, the brand exclusive pay-per-views, yeah, they were filled with a lot of filler. But yeah, I don't like them having 2 months pay-per-view every. I think that's really overdoing the pay-per-views. That means that they don't do a pay-per-view in January. Once again, they leave it that the big for pay-per-views is only going to be that one pay-per-view. That means that, say for February, you're going to have 2 pay-per-views. Then let's say they don't do anything in March because of WrestleMania. Okay, but let's say after WrestleMania, there's 2 pay-per-views. So that means it might be a possibility there's 3 pay-per-views in April. So you're gonna have, and then in May, 2 more, June, then July, then September, October, and December. So, so February, just go with a February, April, May, June, July, September, October, and December. That's already 16 pay-per-views. Then you add the big four, that's 20 pay-per-views in a year. That's like, I understand you're trying to make money, but it's like, whoa, 20 pay-per-views a year. That could be overwhelming. And you gotta let people breathe. And to some degree, I've been seeing articles that are kind of criticizing SmackDown going live not because they're going live on Tuesday, because Raw is still 3 hours. So that's 5 hours of wrestling, within 2 days. One could see it as, oh, that could be overwhelming. Especially when there's times where, even though this Raw was a good start, but there's times where with the 3 hour Raw, I've always said, overall, I haven't felt the 3 hour Raw has been a success. But there have been times where it feels like you're having to sit through to find something good about the 3 hour Raw sometimes. Most of the time. So, yeah. And don't forget, you're probably still going to have superstars in the main event. So still, that's like overwhelming in terms of product. John, I also like Bad Blood 2003. I have yet to watch Bad Blood 2003. Thanks to you, John. Probably there's going to be a time where I'm just going to sit down and watch all of the brand exclusive pay-per-views. Because the only brand exclusive pay-per-views I've seen all the way through have been Vengeance 03, and I just saw that all the way through, I believe last year. I finally watched Vengeance 2003. I used to only watch highlights. And the only matches I saw from Vengeance 2003 were the triple threat match between Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle, and Big Show. The Stephanie Sable match. I remember they showed that on SmackDown one time for free. And the John Cena Undertaker match. Those were the only matches I saw like in their entirety. Everything else was due to highlights. And I'm trying to think of another brand super I've seen all the way through. But I'm trying to think of in real time. Because Vengeance 3, it took years. Because back in the day, me and Chris we used to only really order the big four. So, Vengeance 05. We saw that on pay-per-view. Then Vengeance 2006, and that was a Raw exclusive. That was okay. I recommend you watch the RVD Edge match. That was also highlighted by the return of DX. Then Unforgiven 06. Then No Mercy 06. So yeah, round 06, like round near the end, that's when me and Chris kind of start ordering all the. Oh, also Taboo Tuesday 2005. We ordered that. We saw all the way through. Armageddon 06, even December to Dismember, we regret ordering that. And New Year's Revolution 2006, and then No Way Out 2006. I mean, not Way Out 2007. I mean, New Year's Revolution 2007 and No Way Out 2007. No Way Out 2007 will be what was the last brand exclusive pay-per-view. And that is a pretty good pay. That's a pretty straightforward pay-per-view. No fluff. The only fluff about it was probably that Divas contest they had. But No Way Out 2007 is a pretty good pay-per-view. But Booker T and Kane, or King Booker, they had a pretty good match. And then the Raw WrestleMania main event versus the SmackDown WrestleMania main event was a good tag team match. Batista, Undertaker going against John Cena and Shawn Michaels. So yeah, those are some concerns I have going into this brand extension. That's one of them. I think pretty pushing it with these pay-per-views, 2 a month. Like I said, April could have Could have 3, counting WrestleMania. So I think that's about takes care of the return of the wrestling chrono. It was good to be back. You know, it was 2 months. You know, 2 months hiatus. It was good. It was good to be back. It was good to for you guys to put your input. Hopefully, I look forward to hopefully coming back next Tuesday for the corner. Because since my springs, it's a spring/summer semester. It's almost nearing the end. Near August, it comes to an end. So I can definitely see, especially when I'm on my 2-week break, you definitely will see the corner on Tuesday. But I don't want to, guarantee you that, yeah, this is the start of, on the regular, you're going to be seeing the corner on Tuesday. If you don't, I'll try to, put something up, before the week's end. Because like I said, I would like to try to at least have the reviews of the pay-per-view be live, since they're coming off like of a hot thing. Like, okay, it's like a new chapter after the pay-per-view. So yeah, but other than that, like I say again, it was good to be back. It was good to have you guys input, from John all the way to Danny and Devin. It was good to see you guys, back. See you guys with your comments. So this was Oakland 93. It's been a while since I've done this. This was Oakland 93, and thank you for watching. Episode 6, no, episode 5 of season 6. Believe it or not, only episode 5 of this corner because of the 2-month hiatus. Yeah, so this was Wrestling Corner, episode 5 of season 6. I hope you guys enjoyed my Battleground, review of 2016. This Hope 93 always in the place to be. And until the next corner, you guys, stay easy. Peace.